All right. You ready? Are you
Are you
ready to do
recording? Are
this?
you recording?
I'm recording. We are recording. We're live. We're live. We're not really live. This is a recording. Manny Coates, welcome to the Amazon Entrepreneur Podcast. What is up?
What's up, Taz? How you doing?
I'm doing great, man. Thank you so much for coming on the show. I really appreciate your time, and I cannot wait to provide some value to our listeners and go into some of the amazing secret ninja tactics that you're known for.
Awesome. Well, can I give some value too?
Well, we'll think about it.
All right, cool. Awesome.
All right, now before we go into it, well, my listeners know I like to talk a bit about you and have you tell a bit about your story to everybody. So why don't we start there?
Okay, so
Who is Manny
currently,
Coates?
all right, Manny Coates. Currently, I am the host of the AM/PM podcast. I am now on another podcast. This is awesome. I love doing this. I am the CEO and founder of Helium 10. I'm also I dabble in Amazon. I sell a few products. Did about 1.6 million last year, which was my first full year. This year, the goal was to do at least double that. I don't know if I'm going to quite hit that. We've been busy with a lot of things, but I'm going to try. Definitely well over 2 million. And also the founder of the Illuminati Mastermind monthly training and live event conferences, which you know about, which you're going to be
Yes.
emceeing. We can talk about that a little bit.
We'll get into that.
Yeah. And then my backstory is that I've been in e-com, and I'm going to go through this fast. We don't want to bore people about the past, but I've been in this game since about 1999, back when I owned twistedhumor.com. It was one of the largest humor sites, or it was the largest humor site in the world at the time. We had the 6th largest network in the world. And this is back during the wild, wild west, where there weren't really that many rules and you could do a lot of crazy things, and you had to have an attorney on staff because you didn't know if you were breaking the laws, and we did. There's a lot of stuff that new laws now that were created that were totally legal back then. But yeah, fast forward, got into mobile games and then jumped into Amazon, applied everything from the mobile side of stuff, because mobile games are very similar to Amazon, right? You have, if you're downloading a game, you have an icon, which you have your thumbnail on Amazon. You have your title, you have your description, you have your keywords, you're localizing for a bunch of different languages. And so once you learn what's called ASO, App Store Optimization over there, you apply that to Amazon and you crush it. And that's what we did. There you go.
Nice.
How's that for backstory?
Nice. That's a nice, powerful, quick intro into the life and history of Manny Coates.
Cool.
All right.
I get energized when I talk to you. This is
nice. Good. This is good. I like that. I like that. It's funny. There's not very many people who match my energy. So this is really great. All right. So we want to go into, so you're known for all these crazy ninja tricks and all the crazy value that people get from the Illuminati Mastermind. So what I'd love for you to do is to just go through some of those actionable little tips and tricks that people might be able to use listening to the show or even watching the video.
Yeah. All right. Gosh, where do we start? All right. Want a video on your page? Go to Gen Video. That's gen.video, I should say. That's a site that allows you to actually hire people, influencers. They can create a video or a demo or an opening, an unboxing of your product. And then gen.video actually has an agreement with Amazon to put those videos, they're called video shorts, on your product listing. So you've probably seen these tabs where you're scrolling down on your product listing, and down at the bottom right above your reviews, boom, there'll be a video. It's a video short. So if you use that service, you can get videos on there, and that will help your conversion a lot, assuming it's a positive video, positive review. That's one good tip that almost nobody's doing, almost nobody has heard.
And just a quick question on that. Yeah. You can tell them what to say. Do you give them a script to tell them what they say in the video and you make sure they make it positive? Or is it like, hey, do something with this?
99 times out of 100, they're going to make it positive because they want your repeat business. I mean, if you sell them if you send them a piece of garbage, it's hard to make a piece of garbage look awesome. But they're going to do their best. They have a new feature now. This wasn't there back when we first started using it, where you can actually now upload your own video. So if you've got production skills or you hire a team and you bring them in, you can upload that video, and that way you control the whole flow.
Okay. And this isn't like using an influencer, because they're going to have to pretty much do what they think is best for their listeners or their viewers, right? So it's a bit different from that.
Well, no, some of these, it is, but some of these guys also have YouTube channels, or they have Instagram followers, or whatever it is. They'll tell you when you hire them, you can see what they're doing. So in addition to getting on Amazon, they might actually put it in front of 20,000 or 50,000 people, and you can get sales while getting this video done. So that's where the pricing is going to come into place. You might be able to get somebody for, $300, or another person might be $3,000.
Yeah.
But that $3,000 person is going to be bringing most likely a lot more value. They're going to bring an audience to the project, and it's not just a video to get it on Amazon. But
Very cool.
if you want to have the best success with your products, right? Getting a video is cool, but you got to have good profit margins. And one of the things, and you know about this now, we've talked about this in the past, people just go on Alibaba, they find something, they don't know if they're getting a good deal. They're like, it sounds like a good deal because in the US, I'm buying this thing right here for $25 in the US, and I can buy it from, I know it's a big water bottle.
That's huge.
You can buy it, in China for $4. Well, how do you know if $4 is a good value or not? Well, one of the tricks that's really awesome is to go to 1688.com. That's 1688.com. Guys, this is kind of like the Chinese version of Alibaba. That sounds weird, right? Because Alibaba is Chinese. Oh, it's mostly Chinese. But it's literally all going to be in Chinese when you go there, and you're going to just right click. And if you're using Google Chrome, and you can hit the translate button, you can see what's going on. But that is a site where everybody that I've dealt with, almost everybody anyways, gives you the actual real price of the product. So if you can find it on Alibaba, try to find it over on 1688.com, the exact same product. And you'll often find the same product. And when you've gotten the best deal you possibly can from Alibaba, you'll be like, all right, it's $4. This thing is $4. You'll find suddenly at 1688, it's $2.70. You're like, what? So now you go back to the Alibaba guys and say, hey, look, I'm getting it from, XYZ company over there on 1688. And you can start the negotiations. You get an actual better deal through Alibaba. I still like buying through Alibaba directly because of trade assurance, and I feel a little safer than hiring directly some, small little mom and pop factory in China that I've never heard of.
And just on 1688, do you actually communicate with any of those suppliers on that website? Because, and similar to Alibaba, sometimes the prices that you see on Alibaba aren't the prices. They're just window shopping prices to get you in. Do you ever find that at 1688?
Yeah, now some of the prices are going to be elevated, but I find that in the majority of cases, the prices right off the bat that you see on there are lower than the negotiated price I got on Alibaba. So it's always lower. And you can, the communication, because I don't speak or write Chinese, it's a little bit more difficult. When I'm right clicking, things can kind of right clicking and translating through Google. It gets a little wonky.
Yeah.
Luckily, I have a girlfriend that speaks Chinese sort of decently, so I can actually have them call in and talk to her. But a lot of times you can chat with them. It's harder. On Alibaba, almost everybody's going to speak English or type English at least. On 1688, that's not always the case. You're going to get somebody and you're going to be typing stuff and they're going to be like, no English, or they're going to say something and you're like, oh. But it's a fantastic way of getting really good deals. I've already saved over $100,000 easy, probably now maybe $200,000 off of some deals that I made off of 1688 that then translated into super low or much lower pricing on Alibaba. Nobody's doing this, 1688.com, because they go there, it's in Chinese, and they leave. And like, I don't know what that was. It's super, super cool.
So it's really cool leverage.
Yeah. Absolutely. I mean, and you can obviously go to China, right? We were in China, and it's always cool. But you got to have a translator. Same thing. That's the other thing. You can hire translators if you really want to dial that 1688 in. You can hire somebody on Upwork that's a translator, speaks Chinese, and you can actually communicate. Do like we're doing here. Get on Skype or whatever. Do a 3-way call and have them translating everything for you. So a lot of cool ways of doing it. That's a super good one. Keyword stemming. We got to talk about keyword stemming. There's this false information out there. It kills me. People say, oh, well, because Amazon says, don't use plurals. Just use the singular version or use only one version.
Yeah, let's explain what keyword stemming is.
All right. So keyword stemming is where, let's say you're using garlic press. You don't need to put in garlic presses. Okay. Because Amazon will account for plurals. Or if you misspell garlic, garlic presses, you misspell that, it'll auto-correct it. All of this stuff is built into the stemming is the plurals and the singulars, and then the misspellings are all tied in together. All of these things get grouped into the exact phrase. So if you're looking at your PPC report and it says, garlic press, it'll actually have the stemming numbers in there. So it'll have the plurals, it'll have misspellings, it'll have different things that give you that total. So a lot of people go, well, Amazon says not to put the plurals. So I won't do that. And that's fine. You'll still index, you'll still rank for those things. But if you want to rank, if you know that there's a lot more people typing in garlic presses, as in I'm using Scott Volker, little homage to him because he came up with the garlic press thing. But if people are typing in garlic presses more than garlic press, then you want garlic presses in your title, not garlic press, because you can rank for both. And here's a great example. If you actually go into I'll share my screen a little bit. I was going to say, if we go to Amazon and you type in, should I share my screen? Should we do this?
Let's start. Let's go into it now.
All right, hang on. I'm going to just, let me try to share my screen here, guys. Let's see, desktop. Tell me if you see it.
I see it.
Okay, so if I type in garlic press, okay, so it says 2013 results. So if Amazon's automatically changing it, or including it, that should be the same, right? It's not. There's 4,096 results. And look, the results are, they change from one to the other. See? So you want to use plurals. Yeah. You want, see, did you see the difference? That's one, and this is the other one. You want to actually, let me go back to the other one. You want to use the plurals. You want to use the singulars. And you would want to find out what the exact search volume is for the search volume for exact phrase on this particular keyword phrase versus presses, and whichever one has the most and probably the least amount of competition is the one I would probably favor and put that into my title, and I would go after that. Let me see, there's garlic, these all have garlic press. A lot of people might not be using garlic presses inside their title because it makes no sense, because you're only selling one, and if you're selling more than one, then maybe it would make sense to have presses. But if they don't have garlic presses in their title, you can probably rank very, very quickly to the top using the CPR method that we're going to be talking about in a little bit that we've figured out, in terms of ranking any keyword to page one.
Yeah.
So that's how to do that. Anyways, stemming, guys, use plurals where you can. Even if Amazon, there's a lot of things, Taz, that Amazon says don't do that everybody ends up doing anyways, because just not, you're going to be at a disadvantage if you don't do it, right?
Yeah, definitely.
So, always take loans. That's another tip. Here, let me stop. I'm going to stop the screen share here. Always take loans, guys. I know people freak out with interest rates, right? Because they're like, oh, it's 14% interest rate.
Yeah.
I say, who cares? I mean, if you have other money that you can get somewhere at a lower rate, that's cool. But not everybody has access to $200,000 lines of credit and stuff, right? So if you can get $200,000 and it's 14%, but you can get 100% ROI, right? You can double that money every 6 months. Now you've turned it into 400,000. Now you turn it into 800,000 twice in a year. So 800,000, you pay back your 14% on the 200.
Yeah.
And you laugh all the way to the bank.
It's a no-brainer. I think there's a lot of fear around someone taking out that amount of cash, but you've got to a stage that Amazon have looked at your own results in your business to give you that amount. They're not just giving you it off you doing 10,000 a month in sales. They've seen how much you've done and they're basing it upon their own algorithms to give you that amount of money. So take it. And I just got, you start off with like $4,000 or $2,000 or what it was. And it was 10,000 or something. I just got one for almost $500,000. It paid off my last loan, which was like 200 and some. So now I have like an extra $250,000 almost that has come in, and I'm like, it's too late for Christmas stuff. I was like going to try to use it. And I was like, I can't get the stuff that I want. So what I wanted to do, I've always wanted to do this, Taz. Here's something you probably don't even know about me. You ready? I want to make a card game, kind of like Cards Against Humanity or something, one of those card games, because those things tend to crush it. Yeah.
And I have some ideas, but I never wanted to go in, small scale. I wanted to go big. So if I got $250,000, that gives me some leverage. I have a lot more money than a lot of people have, unless they've kickstarted or something, right? To go out and create this. So I've already worked out some deals. I'm going to get all the stuff. I should be Q1. I'm going to actually be probably sharing some of this information on our card game, our $250,000 card game. But if it works out,
nice.
Cool. Yeah. You want to, here's another interesting fact though. I contact the company in the US that makes these card games.
Yeah.
Guess what they do? They source everything in China to print, and then they bring the stuff in. So they're a printing company here in the US, but for all their card stuff, they go to China, get them printed, put them on a boat. It takes a month to get here, and it's actually more economical and cheaper for them to do all that and pay for the shipping than it is to print in their own factory.
Jeez.
Isn't that weird?
It's the volume. But
Stuff,
only the
yeah.
Chinese can do it.
Stuff, yeah, it's crazy. And I've seen that happen. This is not the first time. It also happened back when I was doing supplements before I got into Amazon. Same thing. I was going to the label companies and they're like, oh yeah, it's going to take, a month and a half to get the labels. I'm like, what?
What?
And I'm like, why? And they're like, oh yeah, because we print them in China. And I was talking to a printing company. It's kind of a normal thing.
Yeah, nowadays, right?
Yeah. So anyways,
Oh, that's exciting. And I did not know you were doing that with the loan. So that's going to
I
be
know I'm
interesting.
nervous. We're actually going to beta test the game here at the office. We already have kind of like a mini prototype I think on Friday this week.
Oh, okay.
I know.
Skype me in.
Yeah. All right. Cool. Cool.
All right. So let's go into the one of the coolest things we've just worked out and that we've been sharing with people now, and that's the CPR method for
Yeah.
ranking your products. That's the thing that people want to do most. Once you've found your product and you've got it shipped over and you're going to launch, you really the most important thing at that point is to get that sales velocity and launch yourself up to the page one to get those sales.
Mm-hmm.
How do we do it?
All right. So this is going to be a little self-promotional, right? Because I am Helium 10 and we create tools that we use. And I think these tools are awesome. And if you can find better tools, by all means, go use them. I don't think there are any. Honestly, one of the things before we get into the CPR method, we have a Chrome extension, right? So actually, let me share my screen again, and we'll just do this. It's easier to show people.
Yeah.
Okay. Can you see my screen?
I do, yeah.
Okay. So the Chrome extension is this thing up here on the right, this little blue thing. You can get it by going to helium10.com/extension. Or if you just create a free account at Helium 10, there'll be a pop-up to where you can install it. But what's really cool is once you have once you have it installed, you'll notice that when you do searches, it starts inserting all this data above all the searches. This is on the search page right here. You can see, right? So I know right away where this ranks in the main category, where it ranks in the subcategories. And what's interesting is if I'm coming out with a product, if I want to have the bestseller badge, look at this one. This one's a bestseller badge, right? Okay.
Yeah.
These ones here, it's number one in garlic peelers and number one in garlic presses. So they're number one in two subcategories. Now this is odd. Normally you're not number one in both the categories, but I would go through and I would find maybe a subcategory that's a little bit easier. I would use, some kind of a sales estimation tool. It's one thing we don't have at the moment, to see what the subcategories are selling. And then I would put my product into that. That might be this is kind of a bad category because garlic presses are, I guess they just go into, or actually let's just do knife. Let's say I got a knife. Okay. Now knives are going to be in all kinds of categories, and I could run like you got tactical knives and personal defense, box knife sets, camping and hiking, emergency survival kits. It's all over the place. So I would run, whether it's Jungle Scout or Market Intelligence or whatever on all these products and see how much they're selling to be, or actually I would probably find the ones that are number one and see what they're, how much they're selling and how much it takes to be a number one. If I click into this, for example, you don't have to be number one, but if I click into emergency survival kits, it brings me to this page, which lists all the number ones. This is the page that I would run the numbers on because now I will know how many units this sells per month if I use one of the other tools, right? And I can compare emergency survival knives or survival kits to the next category, whichever one, which is folding hunting knives. If I click that, it brings me in here. And then if this one only takes 100 sales per month versus the other one is 5,000, I'm going to put my product in this if it fits, if it makes sense, right? Yeah. So that's the first step, is finding the right subcategory. But the tool allows you to do that. This is a free extension, by the way. If you click into any tool here or any of the knives, it does some additional things. One, that if this is my product, okay, let's just assume this is your product and you're running the extension. When you scroll down to the reviews, see right here, you got this button. This is really cool. Have you used this one yet, Taz?
Yeah.
Review revealer. Yeah. So you click this and then it's going to add all these little buttons next to every review, like this one here, junk. And then I can click it and it's going to match this person, because I don't know who that is, to my order. And then if he says, hey, you know what, the product came broken, I can reach out to that customer and say, hey, you know what, you got a broken product. I'm going to send out a brand new one right now so that, you can use it and provide an accurate review.
Yeah. But the reason why that's powerful is because you actually can't reach that customer right now because we don't know who that is, although they're anonymous. So that what Review Revealer does is actually go and find who that customer is and where that order came from, so you can actually contact them.
Right. Yeah. I mean, you don't know who Petra 2013 is, right? Maybe Ryan Friesen is their name, or Louise, Frank. You don't know. Mike. Sometimes it just says Amazon customer. So
Yeah,
it's really important to keep, especially in the beginning when you're launching and you only have a few reviews. You want to make sure that you have um, the best customer service, and that helps you.
yeah,
But it adds in these trend tools. So if I want to find out if this product is a better seller, it looks like it sells pretty good right around here for some reason in May. I don't know, is that Father's Day or something in May? I don't know what
could
the
have
date.
been. Yeah,
I don't know, but it really goes from here, bam, and then it becomes one of the top sellers. You can find inventory levels on this if you want. If I click it, it goes to another window, so you can't see it. Sorry. Um, it's on my other screen, guys. I'm looking on the right screen. But there's a lot of cool stuff. Now, CPR stands for Cerebro Product Rank. That's the Cerebro right here. That's a reverse ASIN keyword tool. So if I click on this, it's going to show some keywords here. This is not the important part because this doesn't show data, right? This just shows kind of it has bars. I want to see actual numbers. So if I click this and we load in, this is just loaded in this particular knife, okay? And it's got 729 reviews. Now, some of these words or these phrases are going to be super weird, like a foldable day bag. The reason it's pulling these things up, this ASIN for all of these keyword phrases, this ASIN shows up when you type any of these phrases in. Now, if I want to narrow it down to just knife, for example, I hit knife. Now it's narrowed down. I've got 276 words or phrases with the word knife in it, and this might be a little bit cleaner for me to go through. Again, you got to use a human brain to actually remove the stuff that you don't want. But there could be some really good gold mine or gold nuggets in the other keywords that we just saw. Okay. So
yeah,
the Cerebro, we call it CPR because CPR is resuscitating something, right? So you're resuscitating a keyword. You want to get that keyword to number one. So if we go back to Amazon and we go to the search thing, let's just say that I wanted to be number one for um, hunting knife. Okay, I'll just type that in. So, or I wanted to be at least on the first page. So this product, it's got the number one listing right now. I would want to find the keyword that I want to go after. So let's just say I'm going to go back and punch this one in. Let's go to Cerebro. Punch in the ASIN. It's really fast, by the way, guys. It comes up quick. This one found more. It found 1,411 keyword phrases. It's hidden any of the exact search phrases that where it's zero. If I turn this off and apply, watch the number over here at the right, guys. 1,411. It's going to go to 2,131. So there was several hundred keywords you can see in here that we're saying has zero search results. It did show up when this ASIN shows up when you type this phrase in, but we're showing that it doesn't really get much traffic. Exact phrase, nothing, and it gets 9 broad. So maybe somebody typed in black hand grip for gun or something like that, and that's why it shows up in broad. But I
yeah.
always like to leave this on. We'll hit apply, and let's type in, what was the keyword phrase? Hunting knife, right?
Hunting knife. Yeah,
So if I type in hunting knife and apply, I've got all these phrases right here, right? So I can decide based off of the search volume which one I want. If I sort by clicking on the column, okay, hunting knife right here. It's actually the top most searched volume. It's 35,000 exact phrase searches per month. Okay, so the CPR formula, you need to know this number, and you need to know the competing products. The competing products not as important. You can still figure it out with this. A very simple formula that will work is to always use 8 days for your launch period. So what the idea is, you're going to be using a giveaway service, or you're going to be using Facebook Facebook offers,
yeah,
or maybe you have an email list that you're going to. Whatever the case is, you're going to be creating coupons at a heavy discount, and you're going to be giving away a certain number of units every single day, right? Not giving away, but you're selling them at that discounted rate. And the idea is you want to prime those sales, that velocity. And if you sell a certain number per day, right, you'll start moving up the ranks for that keyword phrase. And there's a special URL that you can use to get there. Do you know how to do that, Taz, or should I show
yeah.
that?
I think you should show that though.
Okay, so let's go back to Amazon. So if this is the product let's say this was my product, right? Let's see here. Where is it on here? Other sellers. Where's the sold by? I'm not seeing it on this screen. I got a big glare over here. Let me see.
Uh,
Sold by
Amazon. Oh,
oh, it's by Amazon. Okay. So let's
choose a different one.
yeah, let's get a different one. Let's just say it's this one. I don't know. I don't sell knives. Maybe is this one by Amazon as well? Looks like it. This is the brand. Yeah, it's sold by
Yeah,
Amazon.
yeah, same one.
Yeah. You know
Try
what?
and get out of that brand.
Yeah. You know what? Let's do a canteen as an example. All right, we'll get into this one here. Amazon's choice. I'm taking a chance with Amazon's choice, and this is live, guys. So is this one Amazon too?
Oh my God, Amazon as well. Come on, fourth
All right.
time lucky.
How about this one? How about this one? This one good? Right here.
There we go.
Sold by. Okay, so that's the thing when we're live, right? All right, so this product is sold by Captain Dave's. Okay, so if you're Captain Dave's, okay, you would click into this. All right, and this is going to bring you up to this page. You have Captain Dave's storefront. Okay, so if you click into Captain Dave's storefront, now it's going to show all the products that they have. So in this case, if I wanted to rank for the word canteen as an example, I'll type in canteen. Okay, well, they got a lot of canteens. So you want to narrow it down to something that would only pull up one particular product. Okay, most people don't have 27 or whatever many 30 results for canteen. But if I typed in metal canteen, we're getting closer, right? We're getting to, but let's just assume that this was the only one when I typed in metal canteen. What I'd want to do then is I would want to copy this URL. That's called your storefront URL or a two-step URL. And that's what you're going to be sending people to, because when they click on that link, it's going to take them to this page, a two-step, because they have to click into this, right, into this product and buy. And what's going to happen is, if you notice in the URL, can you see the URL on the screen capture?
Yeah,
Show that. You can see at the very end, it's got metal canteen, right? So that's going to boost that keyword phrase for metal canteen. So now going back to Cerebro, we were using a hunting knife. Let's just assume that we were able to do this the correct way. And because we're live, we could find an example of this with hunting knife. But with hunting knife, it's got 35,000 exact phrase search volume. That's the number. The number of units you want to give away over a 8-day period. I always use 8 days, and I'll explain why. Don't let me forget, Taz, just in case.
Yes.
But it's 35,000. You're going to take 2% of this number, okay? So that's going to be about 700 units. Now, this is a super big keyword phrase to go. I mean, compare this number to everything else. This is going to be 700 units over 8 days, which is just under, it's like 90, 90 units a day or something like that?
Yeah.
To get to page one and hopefully the top of page one for hunting knife. That's the simple version of the CPR, is using.
So why are we taking 2%?
2% is just a number that we've gone through. We've run all the numbers. We've done things, and 2% gets you really close. That's a simple version. The actual formula is a little bit more complicated. I always say 2% because that'll get you there. If I go to, we actually did a video. Do I have the page up?
Yeah,
right here. This page right here, how to rank a product number one. There's a video right here. It's about 30 minutes long, 33 minutes long. And it actually shows you the actual formula. Actually, let me see if I can find it on here. Is this it? There we go. This is it.
Oh,
all
nice.
Right. I know. So can you see this?
Yeah, clear.
Okay, so the actual formula is 3% of the first 5,000 searches, then 2% of any of the searches that are between 5 and 25,000. So you're using this 3% for the first 5,000, then 2% for when it goes beyond 5,000, 25,000, and then 1% for any of the traffic still over 25,000 to 100,000, and then 0.5% for anything beyond 100,000. So this, when we looked at this one, hunting knife, it was 35,000, right? So we're going to take 3% of the first 5,000. That's 150. Okay. Now we got to go to this one still because we're at 35,000, and we're actually going to go to this one, right? Because this is the one we ultimately go to. So it's going to be 150 units here. Then we got to do 2% of the 20,000 in here. It's 5,000 to 25,000, right? So that's going to be 400 units for this one. And then 25,000 to 35, that's 10,000. It's 1% of that would be another 100. So 400, 100 is 500. And then 150, that puts it at 650. So that's the actual number that you would want to use.
And why are we tapering the numbers as we go higher in search volume?
Because remember I said the 2% gets you, it was 700
Yeah.
units, and this gets us to 650. So it's pretty close when you do it. The reason you're tapering off is at some point the numbers get so large that the
Number of units to
you
give
have to
away is
taper
too high.
down or it gets crazy. You don't need
Yeah.
that kind of a volume in order to rank at the top. You just don't have those players up there selling that much. When you're at that top, when a keyword has that much volume, it's typically spread out pretty evenly, or it's
Yeah.
spread out a lot more than something that's very narrow. You know, something that has a very small amount of search traffic. So you don't have to give as much away. You can. If I did 2% on everything, like if it was 1 million searches and I did 2%, the numbers get unbearably huge, and it just, you're giving away too much. So this is the formula. And then there's one last thing, which we call the competing product modifier, which is this here, guys. And you'll take that final number, which was 650, and you're going to multiply it by one of these numbers here at the end, depending on how many competing products there are for that search term. So if we go back to Cerebro and hunting knife, there's 200,000 competing products. Oops. Oh, and it got rid of my, how do I get rid of this? Can you see this screen up here?
Oh, wait, no, I can still see Cerebro.
Okay. All right. Sorry. There's a record. I guess the software that we're recording this with jumped over my thing. All right. Okay. So it was 200,000. So it's going to fall into this one. So you're going to take that 650 units and you're going to multiply it by 1.2. Now I don't have a calculator in front of me, but that's going to put it a lot closer to that 700 number, right?
Yeah.
Where we're at, which is what the 2% got you at. So you can either use a very simple 2% or you can use this formula. The formula is going to get you a lot closer. So then you're just going to divide that total number by 8 days, and you're going to release those numbers. Let's just say it's 90 per day. You're going to release 90 on day 1, 90 on day 2, all the way through day 8. And you're going to notice that after about 4 days, you should jump up a lot, okay? Using that URL that we just showed you how to do, how to use, because that's the URL you're sending everybody through. And then you want to keep going, though. Even if you're at the top of page 1, a lot of people are like, I'm stopping after 4 days. I don't want to keep giving away products. But remember when I was talking about earlier about that,
why is that 8 days?
You want to go at least 7 to 10 days. I feel like 7 days when we've done it, you could probably do 7 days. 8 days for us is always worked. On every test that we've ever done, 8 days has been really good. If you cut it off at 7 days, Amazon, we believe, has a 7-day trailing history for sales. And if you cut it off on day 7 a little early, maybe it'll only see it as 6.5 days. So we want to make sure we get the full week in. The 8th day is just kind of like one extra day, or at least some extra hours over the full 7 days to lock in that weekly average. And we believe they have trailing 24 hours, 72 hours, 1 week, a month, and so on. And it gets less important the further out you go. The first 24 hours, super important. A week, pretty important. And at 30 days, it starts to drop off. So this formula, guys, has gotten us to number 1 on almost every single keyword phrase that we've gone after, on every single product that we've gone after. Every once in a while, you'll have a product that's dominating the market. They eat up 95% of the sales. You've seen these, right? Especially if it's something. You're not going to unseat that person without giving away a crazy amount. This formula is not going to work in that scenario. You're going to get number 2 with this formula, but you're not going to unseat somebody who's dominating that market.
And so, Manny, just on the giveaways, are you saying that after the 7th day, you need to go another day just to stay at that level, or is it to actually achieve the page 1? Like, do you get to page 1 or close to page 1 by the 4th day, and you're just continuing to give away to maintain that ranking after you stop the giveaway?
Yeah, because what happens if you don't have that full week of history, what we've seen is as soon as you stop, you fall a lot quicker than you normally would. You want to make sure that, because remember, the idea of getting into the top position is so that you get organic sales. Okay, so if people do a search for hunting knife and now you're at the top, hopefully your product has the price point that's better than everybody else's. You have an amazing product, amazing photo, and your conversions are good. Amazon's going to start seeing those conversions and they hold you there. But in the first day or 2, right, you're just not getting enough sales velocity to hold you there every time. Okay. It takes a little bit of time to build up. So if you quit too early, if you stop at 4 days and you don't have the full week and you're not getting those organic sales coming in as quickly as you want, you might start to start to fall to number 2 or number 3. And then when you start falling off the number 1 position, you lose some of that social proof. Not a lot, but once you get to 6 or 7, then you lose a ton. So
Yeah.
I always go at least 7 days. 8 days is what the formula, the CPR formula is based off of. If you guys want to watch the video, I know there's a long URL there, but just go to helium10.com/CPR. And
And I'll make sure I add that in the show notes as well, guys.
yeah, and that'll get you there, guys. The cool thing about this is the Chrome extension is free. Cerebro, you can use the reverse ASIN part of it for free for keywords. You get 2 uses per day, 60 per month, so you never have to go and buy any reverse ASINs ever again. But if you want all the analytical data, this data right here, let's go back. You'll get all these keywords, but any of this stuff over here, that's for paid members. There's a lot of work, a lot of hours, a lot of things going on to get this data. But I mean, you got to think about this. Helium 10 is you get 13 tools, you get 4 more with the Chrome extension. All you need to do is get to number 1 on one product, and it'll pay for this service for like 10 years or whatever. You know, I mean, it's like it's a no-brainer, honestly.
Definitely. And I'll have a special code for you guys if you plan on signing up, and I highly recommend you do. If you just use the code TAZ when you sign up, you'll get $100 off I think it's the platinum plan and the diamond plan. So those are the middle and higher plans on Helium 10.
Absolutely, yeah. And the plans are awesome. Do we have the plans up here?
You should see.
Yeah, here we go. So this is the gold plan. So you'll get it off the So basically, the platinum plan and the diamond plan will come down. The 197 will be the same price as the gold plan, and you get a lot more. But remember, you get all of these tools here, guys. Not just Cerebro. Inventory Protector. You saw the nightmare that happened out there where people didn't protect their inventory, and they do coupons, Taz, and they got all of their inventory swiped.
Yep.
So make sure. Yeah, you can use this. By the way, you can use this as a free user as well. It's Refund Genie, guys. If you're selling for a while, you can get tons of money back. We've talked about all this stuff, but Cerebro, it's awesome.
And guys, one other thing is that we're always working on brand new tools. We're constantly trying to innovate here. So when you buy in, you're not just buying in for what you see right now. Just literally every month or every couple of months, we're coming out with something new. We're never going to be stagnant here. We're always looking at trying to provide new value, new tools to help you get a step up over the competition. So yeah, I'll never stop.
Absolutely, guys. And you know what? One last tip here. I know we're running over time here, Taz, but I always tell people to go where people aren't. You know, if everybody's teaching to go light, small products, go big, heavy, oversized products, right? Find a product that has a price point that justifies that, because if it's going to cost you $40 to source it and ship it and get it into Amazon with all their fees, then you got to make sure you have a margin to do that. Yeah. But you're going to go into a product line that maybe all the competitors only have 8 reviews or 12 reviews. So you don't need a lot of reviews to actually start competing with them. If you have 99% of the people going after the light stuff because it's cheap and they're starting with $1,000 or $2,000 and that's all they can afford, you can go into the big stuff and dominate. And one last thing related to that, my girlfriend, she quit her corporate job. She's selling at Amazon. She got the bestseller for the product that she launched with using all the stuff we just talked about. And she's now she just ordered she's feeling so pumped up. She got a whole container of her next product, which was an oversized product.
Nice.
But she didn't know. She was just it was oversized. And I was looking at it, and it's a squishable sort of squishable thing. And I'm like, well, can't you squish it into something a little bit like small? And she goes, no, it's too wide or whatever. And I'm like, well, what if you expanded it out the other way? It still falls in within the standard packages. That, what is it, 16 by 18 by
18, 8, yeah,
something like that, whatever it is. Yeah. And I'm like, if you do that, and she did the measurements, talked to the people, and they're like, oh yeah, if we expand it out 2 inches this way, it'll come down 2 inches this way, and it fits. So now she's got a container of oversized products that really now fit into the standard size.
Amazing.
And she just saved herself like a ton of money by just thinking a little bit outside, or actually me thinking outside the box, letting her know, because she didn't know you could even do this. Now she's like, oh my God. So now she's got a lot of ideas. So guys, think outside the box.
And just to let you know, guys, that's exactly what I did for my very first product. So my first product is actually still on the way here, and I have other products live now, but that's an oversized container full of product that I didn't think I wanted to go into super competitive niches. I thought, okay, well, I'm going to put some bigger money down and be in a far less competitive niche, but have a much more expensive product. So that's the exact route I took.
Yeah, perfect. So a lot of these tactics, guys, they are high level. A lot of them are high level stuff, and we teach that in I guess in some advanced training. Did you want to talk about that at all, Taz? Or
Yeah, let's dive into that real quick.
okay, what would you like to?
So
How should we mention this?
well, we want to talk about the mastermind, and we want to tell you about what the Illuminati mastermind is about, and at a high level, some of the amazing tactics you can learn by joining this group, and then an event coming very, very soon that we'll talk more about. I think next week, Manny.
Next week we're opening the live event to the public. We can talk about the details now, but the tickets will not be available to the public. They were made available to the monthly the people that are paying the monthly training.
Yeah.
But the public, it's going to be an event that we're holding. It's a high level event, guys. It's not inexpensive by any stretch of the imagination. These are $10,000 seats. The last one we sold out. But yeah, it's going to be in Hawaii. It's in Kauai, actually, where they filmed Jurassic Park.
Amazing.
Our host here is going to also be the host there. It's going to be our super MC. And we've got some high level hitters coming in that are not only speaking, but at the last event, just to give you an example, we had, I think it was almost $300 million worth of sales cumulatively.
Yeah,
tough saying that word for me. In the audience, and it was a very small audience. We had 75 people there. This time we're expanding it a little bit. But guys, the cool thing is you're networking with everybody. So you're learning from people on stage, but it's such a small, intimate group that right afterwards, we're having cocktails, we're having dinner, we're socializing. We do a lot of cool events to where you're going to be sitting next to a guy that just did $1 million in a day. I was talking to a guy that did more in one day than I did in a whole year. How humbling is that? So, and
That's
this is
crazy.
It just takes 15 minutes of talking to somebody where your mind is blown and you're like, oh my God, the whole trip was worth just that one interaction. So yeah, we're going to be talking about that next week when we open it up, and we're going to have something special for your audience.
Awesome. Cannot wait for that. Manny, it's been an absolute pleasure having you on. I think we've delivered a ton of value here today, and I really hope people have been taking notes. And by the way, if you're listening to this on the podcast, I will be posting this video. I will share the link in the show notes. I'm not sure exactly where I'll be posting it yet, but please, please, please watch the video, because we went through some really detailed steps on the ranking stuff that you can use through Helium 10 by using the extension. Trust me, you'll blow your mind when you actually see the numbers and you have it work. And I can guarantee you, you guys know how honest I am with everything that happens through my journey. And this is working for me right now, this very, very second. And I don't think I even told you this, Manny. This is my second day. I've been running my ads. No, this is the first day. I'm on page 2 for 2 of my main keywords. And this is
nice. We should mention one thing, because people always ask, like, well, I'm already a member of some other tool or service that has keywords. Can I use that data? It won't work, guys. Unless their data somehow on that keyword is exactly what we're showing. You want to use the exact phrase, search volume out of Cerebro. Okay. We have billions of data points at this point. We have super accurate numbers. In the past, we did the same as what everybody that's currently doing now is doing, which is, they take a search engine number, from like Google or Bing, whatever, and you modify it with some kind of algorithm, and you say, hey, this is the number, but it's not a real number. This is real data, guys, from Amazon. You can rely on these numbers. Use this for the formula. Don't use something else, or you might be giving away 10 times more than you need to.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That's the truth, guys. So
I feel like I've been talking 100 miles an hour here to try to get everything in.
I know. I think we've just been crushing the value, and
Cool.
I really hope everyone's enjoyed it. Send me feedback. Send me any questions you guys have, and we will talk again very, very soon. Thanks again, Manny.
Hey, before you go, who's got the better mic? You guys should.
Wait, listen to this. How does this sound? I don't know.
Mine is deeper. Take care, everybody.
See you guys.
Hello, everybody. I'm very delighted to be on this podcast.
That's a huge mic.
All right, go ahead and start. I'm gonna have start off like this.
I was about to start.
Go ahead. Is this okay right here at this level?
Yeah, it's good.
All right.
So you're cool with doing a bit of an intro, yeah? You have to do an intro because
do whatever you want.
No one knows who you are. Like this.
I know. Let's do it. Let's do it.